Okay, we are officially live on YouTube. Everybody say hello to our viewers who are at the moment none. But hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
We've got some new people with us today, so I'm going to explain how we do everything. Basically, this is a write-in, so what it is we talk, and then we write, and then we talk, and then we write, and then we talk. And usually we won't have any like prompts or anything, but if you want a prompt, I'm sure I can come up with something off the top of my head. My name is Nicole Christopherson. I will be writing a short fantasy I can't think of the word. It's on my tongue. It's like a short novel. What is that?
Novella?
Novella.
Yes, that was the word. Thank you. Okay, so now that I have proven myself incapable of words, we're going to go ahead and everybody introduce yourself and introduce what you're working on. And for ink stains, otherwise known as Caroline, if you want to type it in the chat, I will read it for you. Or you can join us with just your voice, or you can do whatever you want to do and we'll figure it out. All right, let's start with Anne, otherwise known as
Seven Swanson. Yeah.
yes.
I'm working on editing my novel, which is about a photographer who starts having flashbacks of her past, like where she had like a boyfriend and the ex-boyfriend now, and she's trying to like recover from being an alcoholic, things like that. All serious adult things. But yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. It looks like Inkstain says, thank you for being so accommodating. Aw, you're welcome. An untitled grimdark space opera, a post-NaNoWriMo endeavor. So that's what they're working on. Ken, it's your turn to introduce yourself.
Yep, I'm Ken, otherwise known as Servalos on Discord. What I should be working on is Ascendant Initiate, which is my monster of a novel that I am editing right now. I'm still below the 200,000 word mark on it, although I still have like 30 some odd chapters left to edit on it. However, instead of doing that, because this week just kind of sucked at work, I am going to continue the early version of fingers. I am going to continue the early version of Templar Awakening, which is book 2 of Shaman Songs. I finished book 1 during NaNoWriMo.
Nice. Okay, so to start things off, we're going to go straight into a 15-minute sprint. And so we're going to be back here at the 20 after. So if you have any questions, now's the time.
I'm good.
All right. Let's go then. Go ahead and mute yourself, and we will be back at the 20 after. Okay, time. Everybody go ahead and come on back now.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep.
We have Courtney joining us. And if she comes back. In the meantime, does anybody want to share an excerpt from what they wrote?
It's kind of slow starting off. I guess it depends, because I know I teased you last night with my plans to make a antagonist that readers can bond with.
Yeah, you did mention something about that.
Yeah. Trying to find a good one.
I didn't get much
What about you, Ann?
editing done. I had to read the chapter I was going to edit again. I just finished editing one chapter and started another, so nothing too interesting yet.
You want to share from that chapter at all?
No, I'm just a couple lines in at this point.
Okay. What?
Huh?
I was
Courtney, can you
wondering
hear?
if you had any lines.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Do you want to introduce yourself and what you're writing real quick?
So I'll hold up 1 second. Came prepared this time. Hello, I am Courtney. I am writing a story about a character wanting to be a forensic scientist. She is framed for tampering with evidence, and while trying to clear her name, she gets kidnapped.
Cool.
That's all I got right now.
Okay. We were sharing excerpts from what we just wrote. If you have one you'd like to share, go ahead. If not, I'll share a tiny bit from mine.
I got something. It's kind of lengthy though.
Okay.
Okay.
You were saying something, Courtney?
I've got nothing to share at the moment. I came in pretty late.
Okay. That's okay. First?
Okay. Yeah, I can check. The society of Dark Shaman's plan was costly and detrimental to the people. Far-reaching was an understatement. She could feel the power they had thrust into the storm from the beginning. She was not looking forward to the kind of chaos those Dark Shamans would unleash upon the world. She and her home would have been right in the path of the storm. She had weathered through many storms in her years. She did not have to weather through something that had the ability to erase most of humanity. That was not her plan. As the storm was gathering strength, she could feel light shine against that darkness, two beacons of light to ward off the darkness. She was comforted by the fact that the balance had summoned shamans to counter the darkness within those. Within a day, the darkness had vanished and the storm had been brought under control. The two beacons of light did not go away. They moved back to where they had come from originally. She did not know why, but the two beacons of light seemed to frighten her now. Why would they rise up against anyone who had a shred of darkness within them? This woman wondered to herself. She wondered if they would come after her. Would they track her down because of the runes that were all over her body? Would they take her, and would they take away the kindred that she had spent years assimilating? The 2 points of light represented a threat to her. She needed to know how to stop them. No grand plan. Those dark shamans were too stupid and too daring to take on someone like those points of light. Freedom was what she wanted. Freedom to practice her arts without fear of reprisal. She had 10 of her kindred assimilated there, 10 of them that had skills that were tied to her and the rune she used. They all started the same way, a concoction passed down to her by the one who taught her the art. It inducted a trance-like state and made them pliable to suggestion. When she started figuring out how to use the rune, how the runes work, she discovered that one would emulate the same state. She would subdue the kindred she had with the brew. Then she would use the rune to keep them under control. By her tongue, they were living zombies, they possessed no independent thought of their own, but they were loyal to her. She walked over to one of them. The rune gave her the knowledge of their skills and memories. You know English? She questioned in her native tongue. The man with dark skin nodded compliantly. His face showed no emotion or any malice on it. It was as if she asked an intelligent dog a question. She smiled. Good. I want you to use your connections to make your way to America. Find the points of light. You have access to my power. All you need to do is find them and think of me. I will know that. That's what I have.
That was pretty in-depth.
That was what?
Pretty in-depth.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't know yours took place in like modern, not modern times, but like in the world where we live.
Oh yeah, it takes place in modern times.
Oh, okay. But like with sci-fi aspects.
More fantasy and dark fantasy. Like this gets dark, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
All that matters is what you bring to the table. For over 75 years, our family has handcrafted premium meats and artisan cheeses that always come together in so it's just a little easier to choose the table together.
I'm trying to figure out where to start for mine. I'll start here. What do you want? The voice was strangely familiar. He couldn't place it. Shelter for the night, Edgar answered, holding his throbbing arm. And information. What do you have to offer? Gold. Edgar pulled out what he carried that morning, which was a few gold coins and a copper for good luck. The copper had been kissed by his lily before he headed out the door. It felt so recent, and yet so long ago. All right. The eye slot slid shut again, and after a few paranoid moments, the door opened with a grunt and a hiss to get inside. The man that greeted him was thin, unkempt, and smelly. His belly protruded over his waistband while his limbs looked skeletal, meaning he'd probably just eaten a few moments ago or was close to starvation. A scraggly, misshapen beard of salt and pepper stubble grew on his face, while no hair graced his head beneath the bandana holding back his sweat. For a moment, Edgar didn't recognize him. But apparently he was recognizable because the second he was inside and the door was shut, there was a fist in his face and blinding pain in his cheek. He stumbled, arm going for his sword, thinking it was an ambush of some kind. That's for abandoning your post, you damn fuck. Now give me the gold. Struck through him, and a hand under his nose ended the paranoia before it could make him do something foolish. Thomas? He rasped, spitting blood to the side and feeling at his jaw. The coins changed hands, and Edgar watched Thomas bite each one, vicious and sure. I figured you wouldn't come back here after what you did, Thomas answered, and Edgar wondered what had happened to the strapping youth he remembered, beaten out of him probably by the looks of the scars along his arms, peeking out from beneath the sleeves. And that's all I got.
That was really good.
Thank you.
I like the line about the pain in his teeth.
I'm trying to work on background details, descriptions of places specifically, because I'm really bad at describing places.
Oh, yeah, same.
Yeah.
Drivers navigating some pretty slippery roads out there from the storm. There are ice and snow-covered bridges and overpasses throughout.
All right. We're going to go ahead and do another sprint in 1 minute. We're going to do a 25-minute sprint and come back at the 50, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
And the temperature is down. We're looking at 54 degrees at Sky Harbor. Very homely. It's about 5 miles an hour out of the east-southeast. Here's what's in store as we get into the weekend. We are going to stay dry. Unfortunately, we could use the rain. We are going to warm up. In fact, a big jump in temperatures, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, and we're going to see chilly in the overnight hours, so a little bit of relief. But take a look at this water vapor imagery. All of this. way into California as well as Arizona. That high pressure ridge that I showed you earlier, that's kind of blocking these storm systems from moving on shore, which obviously is unfortunate given all the fires that are still burning.
Sorry, guys.
In California.
Not as much as I really should be because it doesn't ding when somebody says something, but I'll try and keep it up so that I can keep reading it. I really appreciate your comments. It really helps a lot to figure out what's going on.
Today coming in just below that, hitting 66 degrees for the afternoon high, which isn't anywhere close to.
For those of you who do not know, Chris Vody, the guy in chat, is my writing mentor. He's pretty cool.
Making its way across the southeast and moving into New England. So this is a storm that brought us down to parts of Texas, but here are parts of Louisiana.
All right, and it is the 25 after. We're going to go ahead and do a real quick sprint for 25 minutes and come back at the 50 after.
All right.
That's going to contain additional
I almost thought I was going to have to boo you.
Over.
Huh?
The sprint is over.
I'll fall asleep right at the end.
Well, I was waiting like 2 minutes to make sure that I ended the sprint on time.
Yeah. Did you fall asleep at my little little verbal punches between the 34-year-old and the 41-year-old?
What?
Oh, the thing
Posted
you
it in
posted.
internal chat, yeah.
Oh. I didn't even see it. Hold on.
Shit, my characters are getting old, man.
The robots, maybe. You can find someone compatible. You can have discussions with them. They never argue. They never get
192.
or whatever it is.
Cool.
Are you in?
Shit, lady, you don't pull any punches.
All right. So, does anybody have a topic of conversation that they wish to share?
A topic of conversation or an excerpt?
Either one.
I don't know.
Nobody?
I got
Topic of conversation. All I've been thinking about all day is freaking insurance. It's all I've been doing, like, since I think I was looking at it for like 2 or 3 hours. It was bad.
Be glad you
Oh,
don't have
goodness.
a family, man. $620 a check for health
Yeah.
insurance. That's
That's ridiculous.
insane.
Insurance can be real difficult to deal with, especially if you've got a big family or if all you've got is Medicaid.
Yeah, I've got I just do it through Obamacare, but that means I have to figure out everything myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my work throws just about as many choices at you. They give me 4 providers and 6 different levels to choose from. So it's like having our own private exchange. So yeah, I had to figure out which one covers my doctors and which ones covered my prescriptions and all that crap. Don't fall asleep, Nikki.
I'm trying not to, but this is about my bedtime.
Yeah.
Aw.
I can share another excerpt of that other chapter if you want.
Go ahead.
Okay. Still
I can share
dark.
some from what I wrote too.
Go ahead.
Ooh.
Let me see.
No matter where you read it, hear it, or who quotes it, Spencer's will always beat it.
Okay, while you're looking, Ken's going to go ahead and share his, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. She didn't choose these people just because she could. These were people that tried to wrong her in the worst ways possible. Made concoctions that healed people of their ills. Salves that healed wounds. Potions that cured sickness. Brews that centered the mind. The 10 that she bound to her tried to rob her, tried to rape her, tried to burn her cottage down. For that, they would spend the rest of their life in atonement. If someone didn't pay for a salve or potion, she simply didn't serve them again. It was invading her realm, her inner sanctum, and threatening her life and well-being that made their freedom forfeit. He heard a knock on her door, followed by a cough. She crossed to the door and opened it. It was one of her local customers that she had known for many years. One of the sons that had gone to her ever since her master died. This man trusted her much and lived to a ripe old age as a result. She smiled, which quickly faded when she heard the man wheeze. What did you get into this time? You have upset your lungs. Afternoon, Anaya, the man greeted and stifled a cough. Not sure. Must be working with metals again. I'm too old for this. I know you don't approve of the work, but it does support the family, even if it rips apart the ground. Anaya shook her head. It's your health that I'm primarily concerned about. Everyone is destroying the earth. You're just supporting your family. Stay here. I have a mix of something that will help you. She went back into her house and searched through her cabinets for the satchel of herbs that she had prepared. She found it soon enough and opened it up. The strong smell made her nose wrinkle, and she closed it shut again to silence the odor. It was the right pouch. It contained what she needed for the man. With the bag in hand, she hurried back to the man and handed him the pouch. It came complete with instructions from her. Brew this into a tea and inhale the steam until it cools off a bit and drink it. It won't smell good, but you can add honey to help it with help with the taste. It will help in a day or so. He opened the pouch to take a whiff and cinched it shut with a grimace. Thanks, Anaya. How much do I owe you? She shook her head. Whatever you think is fair. I know none of us have much. He rifled through his pockets and pulled out a couple of coins. He placed them into her hand. She smiled and accepted them. Thank you. Now go before you catch a cold or something else. You need more of my medicine. That's where I'm talking about trying to get you to actually feel for this antagonist.
She seems kind of nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll do this part. It says, this is the beginning of the chapter, and it says, a muffled growl came from Madeline's face embedded in the pillow before a muffled out alongside an extended hand. Tabitha placed a hot-to-go cup of coffee in the hand. Madeline turned a bit and took a sip before collapsing back into the pillow. Pick out some clothes, she said. When there was no response, she turned her head back to look at Tabitha. Tabitha was standing there smirking. So it's just kind of funny. Like, she's just like, close. Get me close.
That is kind
Her
of
head
neat.
buried in the
It's actually
pillow.
a really cute friendship.
Yeah. This chapter is all about the two of them, so I'm trying to like play it up.
Okay, now we got a choice. We can go ahead and end it here after an hour, or we can keep going and risk me possibly falling asleep.
I'm okay with either one. And you do need your sleep. I read that blog post of you in a day, and I'm like, man, this girl does everything.
Well, thank you for reading that blog post. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That was not even like a special day or anything. That was just a normal day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing, Ken? It's okay. You look like you're going to sleep.
No. Just a little bit of, I don't know. That overworked feeling from all the time in the car, all the time at work.
Yeah.
In one way, looking forward to the check with all the overtime on it from what Christmas is going to be, and the other hand, not looking forward to another 56-hour week.
Yeah.
Which they tried to get me to do like this coming week again too. They're like, hey, we have more training for you. And I'm like, can I say no? You just got more overtime out of me. Can I say no?
Am I allowed to say no?
Can this wait a little bit?
Let's go ahead and break for a bio break. We'll come back in 15 minutes. And then we'll keep going until 11 o'clock.
Okay.
May not be your time. And then we'll call it. Okay?
All right.
All right. Your kids have got to stop leaving trash in my room.
When were they down there?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was them then?
It was on the stairs. And it definitely wasn't me because I don't eat those little cups. Are you having fun being a guest celebrity, my dear?
Sure.
Your arm is on TV.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, just don't feel good.
I'm sorry.
I think I'm starting to come down with it.
No, not at all. There's no, okay. The only thing I can really say is read it. It's literally just my day itemized out. None of you mentioned really other than that Barb took a nap. You are not lazy, even remotely. And like I said, you guys were barely even mentioned. And no. Most of the readers of my blogs don't even know who you guys are. Yeah, so they know that you work like a 56-hour week.
I have come to a conclusion today, but I cannot say it on camera. It's a certain part of a certain state I don't want to visit.
You're not muted, Ken.
I know I'm not muted. That's why I'm not saying it on camera. You know, I haven't been muted this entire time, right? Throughout the entire
no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, throughout the entire conversation that you had upstairs, wasn't muted. In other news, the graveness of the fires in California kind of hit home at work this week when we get this call out from our management. Has anyone from the affected areas in Ventura County called you guys to let you know that they're abandoning the peace apps? What? Yeah, don't you know the state's still on fire? We knew that. You mean it's burning down like 911 infrastructure now? That's really scary.
So I just heard something scratch on the other side of the wall that's in front of me.
Both men are described as being in their 20s and 30s, 5'8" to 6
You know, statistically, there is a mouse within 6 feet of every living human being on the face of the planet, right?
That's not terrifying.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I wasn't thinking mouse. I was not thinking mouse. So thank you for turning my terror into some kind of fact. That's what I was looking for.
Whatever's in front of you is dirt. It's like a little crawl space. It's all the space over there.
I don't know. The wall is hollow.
Part of it is.
Knocked on it. It's hollow.
Yeah, there's like that much space and then dirt.
There could be bones back there.
Dead people.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I'm like really tired.
I've got a jar of dirt. Guess what's inside it?
After reaching out to neighbors, she learned she wasn't the only victim. Other homeowners were also in the same position. It's always disappointing. And you decorate in order to bring joy to your neighborhood, to it's fun. The kids and I always do it together, and ended up finding school decorations up for sale on a website. The burglary reduction detectives from Desert Horizon Precinct Station began a sting operation. I initially started the conversation with
You okay over there?
Yeah.
23-year-old Kira Spear and 28-year-old Mark Soldevere were taken into custody and booked into jail. All the decorations were given back to the family. It feels great to smile when people say to the station. People shop is pretty cool. And we're told the couple was trying to sell those items for just $80. Reporting live, Courtney Brittman, Fox 10 News. Courtney coming up, a lot of people taking advantage.
I have 3,000 words. I am so proud of myself. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Woohoo! That's 1,000 words a day.
Noisiest toys this holiday season. Toys so noisy they could hurt your child's hearing. We'll be right back.
I know why I'm so mentally exhausted every time I turn around. or every time my bosses turned around today, I was on a call with some stretch. Hey, I bet Ken can. Nope, he's doing something. Again. And again.
Ken, you're mumbling, and all we can hear is your mumbling.
Yeah. Well, no, like how the day went was like, oh, we've got this important thing that we need Ken to. Oh, he's on a call, doing something. Oh, he's taking care of someone else's appointment because they were not here. Oh, he's taking care of someone else's appointment because they weren't here. Oh, he's taking care of someone else's appointment because they weren't here. Oh, a technician decided to randomly show up on site to fix a problem because they decided not to call in and set up an appointment. So he's taking care of that. And that's been like my 11-hour day is just boom, they call in. Boom, they call in. Boom, they call in. They're like, we have 17 problems and we have 5 people to fix it.
Oh, man.
That's been my day. They're like, we have no one to give this pile of dog poo to. Because everyone else has got their own steaming pile of crap to deal with. They literally the employer ran out of spoons.
That's
The employer ran out of spoons so hardcore they ran out of appointments for the next 2 weeks.
okay.
They're almost booked till Christmas.
That sucks.
That's
I feel like
been our
laughing,
day.
but I'm dead inside.
Yeah, it's like
I may
I'm
be laughing,
laughing
but
at
I'm really
the
dead inside.
absurdity of it. It's like we're that short-handed. And just now it's starting to come to light that we're that short-handed.
Oh, wow. How is it that you always end up in some place where they're short-handed?
I work in IT. The name of the game is we're that short-handed. Ask anyone who works in the IT field. The name of the game is short-handed. It's called they don't want to pay people good money because I don't make that bad of a salary anymore. They don't want to pay people that good money and pay a lot of people that good money to do the job. At the same point in time, there's enough work that they really do need a lot of people to do that. So you get into this balancing game of priorities.
From a corporate standpoint, that makes sense. From a logical standpoint, just hire some more fucking people.
We're having to make our case, so the only way to make our case is like we're booked for the next 2 weeks. How are you booked? You have 17 level 1s. Yeah, we have 17 level 1s. We can only do so much per 11-hour shift. So the next thing that they're probably going to have us do, and I bet we'll go back to this video to look at my words on this when this happens. Those will probably start doing mandatory overtime. Oh, I hate that phrase just as much. When I worked in resource management, they're like, "Oh, we need to have the call takers do mandatory overtime." I was like, "You are insane." We are not going to force people to do overtime. Oh no, we're going to force people to do overtime. And I bet you it's going to happen.
I hope it doesn't. If only for your sanity, I hope it doesn't.
For my sanity, yeah. Yeah. I know. Well, I think if it comes to that, everyone's going to be like, we'll do it for as long as it takes for them to get like 5 more people in and triage train, which means 3 or 4 months of doing it.
Jeez.
But it is what it is. At least I don't work in the kind of IT job where I have to do the weekend and midnight cuts of crap anymore. So I don't have to be like, well, I gotta make sure this weekend is clear because we might be doing a cut of a mission critical system this weekend. There's that. I don't have to do that anymore. True.
Queen memory foam mattress with a power head and foot adjustable base for only $7.99. Get more mattress for your money at Sleep More. Mattresses for less. Inside more furniture for less. Your exclusive AccuWeather forecast with our CC on Fox 10 News.
Shoot, I need water.
Okay, guys. I'm sorry. I'm fading like hell over here.
You want to just call it a night?
Yeah. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, it happens.
I have that same pill counter.
Yeah. Walmart
Anyway.
special.
Yes, I don't even use it anymore, but I should. Did it just fall?
Yes, it did.
Oh my god. That time.
It's that time of night.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and call it here for our viewers. Thank you so much for joining us for our write-in, and we'll have another one next week, probably at the same time, hopefully a little longer. But we will see you all then, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
The next several days, in fact, the temperature